Hello and welcome back to another character customization video. My name's Lumin and today we're back in Overwatch 2 for yet another mythic skin. Season 6 is here, and along with it came the Season 6 Battle Pass. And in said Battle Pass, we have the A-7000 Wargod skin for none other than Ana. Yeah, I mean, I think last time I said the Tracer one was my favorite. This time I'm saying the Ana one's my favorite. This is my new favorite skin. I hope that this is going to be a recurring thing, where every time they release a new one, it's going to be my favorite. This time around, I'm an Ana main. I used to play a whole lot of Ana. This time around, that's my reason. But, hey, you know, the skin itself, let's let it do the talking. So, first things first, the Battle Pass. It works the same as before. The levels aren't exactly the same, but you unlock the first variation of the skin at level 41. That's this one right here. As you can see on the side there, A-7000 Wargod. That's the first variation. Then, as you progress, at 61, you unlock the second variation, and then, at level 80, the third and final variation. It's cool. It's a good system. I think this is better than the initial system that they had in place, where you only got it at the end, and that was that. This gives you something along the way, you know? It dangles the carrot a little closer. That's fantastic. Let's jump in and let's get started on the skin itself. The first thing that I noticed when I jumped in here was that they actually have a little bit of lore here. It's not a lot, but I'm a fan of it. I think it's fantastic that they're actually trying to put a little bit more into it. Now, I'm not going to show you guys or let you listen to the voice lines and stuff like that, but I have no doubt that this skin has custom voice lines. It probably sounds and looks different when you play with it. It's probably a whole big thing. So if you guys have played and you've unlocked this already, please let me know. It does most likely take a little bit of time to unlock. You can upgrade your battle pass and then you can buy all the levels up to max level to unlock this, but that will cost you a ton of money. I recommend you do not do that. Play the game instead. Okay, if you're going for something like this, play the game. Now, the lore. The A-7000 Wargod is a failed attempt to replicate a certain human soldier's consciousness in a robotic frame. Though the unit gained her ruthlessness and skill, fragments of the soldier's memories have corrupted its data banks. So they're making it out to be sort of like its own character. And that's kind of cool. I love the idea. Now, when you do get to level 80 and you've unlocked everything, and I will show you in just a moment what you do get along the way, but when you get this whole package, then you get the skin itself, you get the player icon, and you get the spray. Cool? Cool. When you jump in here and look at the customization options, then you can see that you unlock the first weapon at 41, you unlock the first variation at 41, and the first color palette at 41. Then at 61, you unlock the second variation, and then at 80, all the rest. That's the second two sets of colors, the second weapon, and the third option for the armor. Now, as we usually do, we're going to have a look at the weapons first. You can see right here that there's a whole lot of detail. It looks similar to her regular weapon, but there's a lot more going on here, and it's looking super robotic and sci-fi. I'm a big fan of it. Here's the other one. I would say more sharp edges on the second one. This one's looking a little smoother, more like a spaceship. The color variations. Here's the red. Looks kind of nice. And here's the, I'll call this the camo. This sort of feels like it's the camo skin tone. And on this one, there's the regular one. The red. I mean, red and gold is always just like a winning combination. You cannot go wrong with it. And the camo, I feel it suits Ana quite well. She has some really, really nice skins that use the same color. That's probably why they did it, by the way. It's probably why they did it. The young Ana skins have the same color. They have, however, got the blue and gold, as far as I understand, and then this one. But still, red and gold's pretty fantastic. So those are the variations on that. Then there is the sleep dart. That's the second one over there. You can change the color. There you go. I actually like this one, yeah. Here's the first variation. it's not a massive difference. These ones, it's not a massive difference. You will notice that for the most part, what's changing is they actually just invert in the colors. It's cool. It's cool. But they actually just shift in the colors around. It's not really a different frame or anything like that. Understandably, I suppose, because you barely ever see this when you're playing. But there it is. Right. The skin itself. I'm going to show you the gun, what it looks like when it's resting in her arms. Much the same. This is more something that you as a player will appreciate, because it's something that you're going to be seeing in front of you all the time when you're running around. So you'll probably want to pick whichever one looks nicest. We'll change the color schemes on the first skin. Looks pretty fantastic. The design actually reminds me a little bit of Revenant from Apex Legends and Ash from Apex Legends. Sort of a similar situation, similar style that they went for. It does have its own Ana flair, its own Ana style. They do try to stick with the silhouette of Ana, and I think it works quite well, especially with the long coat at the back here. It's kind of cool. I like it. Here's the second variation. This one is slightly, I don't want to say more evil looking, but it's a little more menacing, right? It's a little more omnic and a little more scary because of those eyes, I suppose. And again, the sharper edges. This color scheme, I think it looks fantastic on all of them. And by far my favorite of the bunch, the final armor. This is sort of like they're working towards building the perfect A-7000 Wargod. And they finally settled on this design because, you know, it's got a nice combination of the style and the feel of Ana, but also that menacing look. And I think it's pretty great, the smaller details. You can't really zoom in all that nicely, but the smaller details, like the it actually looks like the armor is cracked around the eye over there. I'm not sure if that's actually what it's meant to be, but yeah, the super scary eye sticking out there. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. And remember, Ana only had the one eye. She had a patch on the other one. Kind of a nice little detail. I love the hair, the way they did it. Looks like the old hard drive cables. Oh god, never want to see that again. And then let's look at the other colors. Very cool. I like the idea of the black hair and the golden face. Quite nice. And this one, a little bit more color, which by the way caught me by surprise a little bit, because on the other ones, this is quite bright, right? It's like kind of colorful, but there's like a vibrance to this one, like really bright little bit at the end here. It's nice. It's kind of nice. And then with the inside also being this super bright pinky purple. I'm sorry, I'm not great with colors. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm going to randomize now and show you what the different options are like. And I'm going to talk a little bit after that about the whole package, because I think that there are some pros and cons to this system once again, and it's worth discussing them. Now, I just want to point out the cool details on this. Like, these are, like, hands down, straight up, some of the best skins that they've ever made. Look at the small details on the feet and the bottom of the legs, on the calves and stuff like that. And each of these has different details there, and details in different places. It's kind of fantastic. Unfortunately, this one covers the legs up, but the details are elsewhere. Little bits and pieces everywhere that just make the skin pop and make it stand out. For the reason of the details specifically, like with that in mind, this is one of the more impressive skin variations. If you look like basically in through the cape at the back here, there's a lot going on inside there. Like, this is a pretty complex model. Anyway, we're going to randomize a little bit and see, and I actually want to talk specifically about the randomization. Now, they've made some changes with the system. Oh, you can zoom in. How do I zoom in like that? I just accidentally zoomed in. There, it just did it when I randomized. Oh, it's when I'm looking at the gun. Right. So, they've made some changes to the system, right? And the way they release these skins now, they're releasing basically a bundle with 3 options and some tweaks. Whereas before, I think specifically if you look all the way back at the Genji skin, which I feel was sort of like a really, really, really fantastic pickup, they gave you more stuff that you could work with to make your own combinations. Whereas with this, it's all really about the armor, if you look at it. So even if you're randomizing a bunch, you're basically just looking at the armor or the colors changing, right? So like the combos that you can make don't seem all that meaningful. And I mean, you could argue and say that, well, Lumen, it's the same amount. And technically you would be right. I mean, okay, there could be like a third weapon or whatever, but like technically, yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? It's the same. But what ends up happening is the combinations that you can make with this, they don't really feel all that different. I mean, here you've got 3 different color combinations on the one skin, then you've got 3 different color combinations on this one, whereas when you worked with, as an example, the Genji one, and you threw the random in there and you clicked randomize, you felt like you had something completely different every time because of the different patterns, because of the different masks, because of the different combinations that you could throw together, because the colors also featured more than just colors. And I mean, I don't know, it's not something in my opinion to really complain about or shoot down, because I'd honestly feel like this is a step forward and this is a better way of doing it. But again, at the same time, I do feel like a middle ground between the two would be sick. That would be awesome if they could give you the variety that the Genji one has, but then with the design and the style that they're releasing these new ones in, I think that would be great. That said, however, this is my favorite one so far. I'm an ex-Ana main, okay? I played so much of this hero, and this is just a really cool style for her. Specifically, this level 81 is just awesome. All 3 color variations of it, fantastic. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I haven't played Overwatch very much recently, but, you know, if anything was ever going to bring me back, something like this would. It's really, really cool. It's a super skin. And they've done a fantastic job on this. Like, the artists, they should always be commended. Always. Huh. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys. I haven't been playing much Overwatch, as I mentioned, so I don't really know what's been going on with the value of the bundles you can buy or the battle passes or stuff like that, so I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'd love to hear if you think that my take on the new system is bad. I'd love to hear if you think that the new system is just better in every way. If you do think that, please let me know, because yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm ready to be convinced about. I'd love to hear it, because I think the skins themselves are definitely better. Anyway, I like it. I like the A-7000 Wargod skin, and it's cool. And now you know what it looks like. There you go. All the different combinations that you can look at. I think it's nice. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. So check back here soon for more. I'll definitely check whatever comes out next. If you guys would like, once again, you can let me know what you think about this. I always appreciate it. Give this one a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. Most importantly, yo, happy customizing those heroes in Overwatch. Yeah, who thought we'd ever say something like that, man? Happy that.